Olá pessoal do Game Blast, aqui é Felipe Camarossi e nós estamos aqui com o cabeça de relações públicas da Square Enix da América Latina, Manuel Camilli. A nossa conversa vai ser em inglês, portanto fiquem atentos na legenda logo abaixo. Manuel, what are you thinking of the BGS? Are you liking it or having expectations?
I'm really loving it. Hi all, hi Brazil. Boa tarde Brasil. I'm really liking it. I'm loving it. I love the spirit the Brazilian people have. I'm Mexican, and I think it's very much alike. The whole Latin America has a lot of fire, So I love this. I love that gamers really want this, and we hope more companies can come each year and make this a bigger show. We are trying to put our little seed in Latin America, so I think it's a great thing for gamers. Great thing.
Okay, I heard you're here about the collective project from Square Enix on collecting developers from around the world for indie games and investing in it as a publisher. Could you talk a little more details about this project?
Yeah, that's the most interesting thing we're doing here in Latin America. At the moment, Square Enix is looking for developers all over studio development studios around Latin America to build partnerships with them to work on new games with new IPs for the whole region. We want to release them in Latin America. It's very important for us because we want to bring what Square Enix has, the experience and the people that their opinions and everything and the way we work. Having all that, working with Latin American studios, because Latin American studios have a lot of games maybe and especially ideas, more than their games, their ideas, And we want those talents to be able to work with them and build new games on a publishing model. So it's very important for us to start collecting all the information possible from all the studios and to see with whom we can work with, and whoever has great ideas and can execute them and can make great games, we're going to support them as Square Enix and work on partnerships. That's the goal, And sometimes we have one game that is for certain audience, so there is more oriented to a certain genre. So we have that game, and we say, okay, it fits with this studio. And we have this other project, and okay, this fits with this other studio. So we mix it and match, and in the end, we know that having all the studios possible, we know that we can contact any of them for any projects that we're working on. So far, we're working with five studios already, 5 Latin American studios, 2 from Brazil, 2 from Argentina, 1 from Colombia. They're very, very good ones. They're very talented, and we think we're going to get great games out of this. We're already working on them. We're in production. We hope to release them next year, that is. So it's pretty soon. It's going to be great. And we think that mobile platform is the future worldwide, especially in Latin America. I mean, the growth, it's amazing. So we really want to aim to that and focus on that, and see where it goes from there. So right now it's 5 great games that we're working on. And it's great for us to be here. It's great.
So the main focus of the project is making games specific for regions and specific for certain kinds of publics.
Yeah, in a way, because the thing is, we really believe in local content. Enix was founded as that. It was founded from a development contest, and you see, for instance. Other games, other international games, the way we work with those international titles are, focusing on the content. Our Japanese titles sell way better. I mean, let's Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, those franchises sell a lot in the world, and that is really great. But the best place for those games is Japan. It still is. When we launch a game in Japan, it's a great thing. It's a great thing for Japan, it's a great thing for gaming and everything, because it's part of their culture, because their content, even though it's not too cliched, it's very underlining, in there, it's in the game, it's in the way the mechanics work, the stories, the characters, everything. And that's what we want to achieve here in Latin America. It works as well for, Tomb Raider, one of the best places it sold was Europe, It's not so strange taking into account that Lara Croft is English, so people can relate to that kind of thing. So that's the way Square Enix does things, searching for the people and what people want. And who's better to make Latin content games than Latin American people? So that's why we work with all the Latin American studios, and to have them develop it, to have them push the content and work together from the beginning, so we can have great Latin American games. And for Latin America at first, but I don't know, who knows where that takes, but we really need to have Latin America, to give Latin American gamers their own games, or our own games, better said. So yeah, that's the main focus. It's a teamwork with the studios, because it's not like, sometimes worldwide it works like this. A development studio arrives to whatever publisher and knocks the door and says, hey, here's my game, I spent 7 years developing it, can you buy it from me? That's not the way we work, because we want to be with the developers from the start. We want to be with them from the conception of the idea. We give them some ideas for the game that needs to be this way or that way, that we know works worldwide or for the region. And from there, they start developing, and we're hand in hand with the first. And our deals are trying to, our way to deal with the studios is to try to have it as close as possible, a really close relationship. We're there for them all the time, because we know they need support, and we need their content and their creation. So we work in a partnership. It's a very close relationship, and we also have relationship with, of course, of Square Enix, the rest of the world, because we are Square Enix and we have their total support. Square Enix Japan is very supportive, and Square Enix America as well. For whole North America, we really want to push this, for the whole region. So for instance, at the moment, Final Fantasy IV. It's going to be released for Brazilian Portuguese, so it's a great thing for the region, on iOS, actually, mobile platform, as I was saying. So it's a great thing for the region, and I think that making a good team with developers, as we have a good team inside Square Enix, we can make great things happen.
So, our country is known for being very different from the stereotypical from the others on Latin America. We have another likes, we have another customs. So do you have any other way of creating games around here, or we'll just use the same strategy on the other Latin America countries?
Regarding strategy, we want to take the same approach, because it's the thing is that approach works or has worked worldwide. It worked for us in Japan. It works still. That's how we started working with other studios worldwide, Eidos, and I don't know, that kind of thing. So we want to keep that approach, because that approach is what makes the local content to shine in a great international game. A transnational game like the ones we're making right now for Latin America, for the whole region, will still have the content made by the Brazilian people. And if you say, for instance, a Brazilian game can have a really tight content, very, very heavy, and still not be really cliched. It is very different every culture, but it's not like we need to tailor a way to work with every country. It's more like we need to tailor a way to work with every studio, because every developer has their ideas and their strengths and everything, and we want to get the best out of them, and from them to get the best support out of us. So we really want to focus on each studio, and of course there are cultural differences from Brazil to the other places. They're very strong, starting for the language, But we have Brazilian people working with us. Eu falo pouquinho português, ainda estou tentando, mas estou aprendendo. Posso falar, mas por respeito a seu público, eu prefiro falar em inglês que ter atropelado português, né? So we have Brazilian people working with us. There's an associate project manager that's from Brazil. She's amazing, by the way, works with the teams, and our general manager for Latin America as well. He's Brazilian. We have people from Peru. There's a Mexican, and we have a lot of people in the mixer, because what we want is to have, as Square Enix, is to have people that is involved with the region, and that works not only with the content, not only with the main content of the game, but the mechanics, or maybe what do Latin American people find the best for this kind of game. What do they like the most? How can we work with those things? And from the processes, everything has to be more involved with the Latin American audience. So we really want to be a part of this, we as Latin Americans, as we as Square Enix, to make a really big team, to make this an industry, a great industry of video games for Latin America.
Can you give us any details on these projects, on Brazilian teams, or you can give any tips? Or
yeah, I can. Actually, there are two of them. One is called Project Trivela. It's a soccer-related.
Naturally.
One of them, because you're like the best in the world, so you have to have something for that is really awesome. It's a really great game. We have more details to come, but it's going to be soccer related. It's for mobile platforms as well, and it's being developed by Ilusis, which is a Brazilian development team, a really great one. Actually, they're very creative. And we have another called Project America that is more of an RPG thing. It's also with local content, and is being developed by Hoplan. So another Brazilian studio with great talents and everything. So it's really great with us to be working with these guys and getting the best ideas they have, and it's great for us. And we think it's great for the Brazilian audience to have games they can call their own, and that they can just download it. That's a great part of it, that you can have a Brazilian game in your pocket and a great game. It doesn't have to be a small game or anything. It can have it's content oriented, or it's the soccer one. I mean, it's very related to what you want to do as a Brazilian. You like games regarding soccer, then you have a game regarding soccer. You like RPGs, you have RPGs as well. Then that's our goal, to do all those games, and not just one, not just two genres. Focus in whatever we think might be best for all of you, and that's why we need more developers. So yeah, those are great. We have other great games from Argentina, two of them, one from Colombia. They're also great games. Some card battle, and there's a lot in the mixture. We want to make great games. It's what we do, and we want to do it the best we can with the Latin American people.
You said earlier about the Final Fantasy IV getting the Portuguese language, and you also speak a little Portuguese. So this project can help with the localization of another great franchises from Square Enix, like Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts, in the near future or late?
Well, it's difficult to tell at the moment. Usually the decision to what language is it translated is from a production point of view. So the producer usually decides what languages they have and something. So it's more of a development thing. However, what we do want to remark is that the biggest the Latin America go as a whole, more opportunities can arise for all that kind of things for everybody, not just for us, But we have our eyes open. That's why we're here working on these games. For now, that effort is because Brazilian people really like Final Fantasy as well, and it's a great thing that they can have it now in Portuguese, or you can have it now in Portuguese, and we might work with some other things. Who knows? It might come, if this works well, it could come Final Fantasy 5, 6, 7. Who knows? So there's always a door open for that kind of thing. So we really wanted to make it work, and we hope for great things for the region, for the whole Latin America, and in this case, particularly for Brazil. It's a huge country with huge opportunities, so we really want to make great things with it.
I guess I speak as the whole Brazil nation that we really want this to happen. So, you told us. You told us too about the Final Fantasy IV coming for iOS, and with the World Ends With You Solo Edition and Final Fantasy Tactics and a lot of other games coming for iOS and some for Android, do you have any kind of a new abortion for the mobile market?
Well, our approach for mobile market is, 4 of the 7 countries that had the biggest adoption rate worldwide for mobile platforms from Latin America. You know, so it's a great thing. People are the curve. It's amazing the rate that every time more people are having mobile devices, smartphones or tablets and that kind of thing. So we think it's a platform of the future, you know, and especially in Latin America because of these numbers and you just look around, you know, and find everybody with their cell phones and everything. It's a great adoption rate. So we really think that regarding mobile platforms, the ports that have been made, that could be made, are because, you know, some gamers really like those classic games from us, and we say, why not? Let's give it from them to have it on the pocket. You know, you used to have some Final Fantasy on your pocket, but it was not Final Fantasy 4. You know, you used to play it on a console and say, that's as far as I can get. Now you can have it on your pocket, and I mean, I think it's a great thing. More could come, but it's a matter of how things develop for us. We are really trying, and I mean, all of you know that media are trying really hard. You guys and the developers are working really hard to put things out there, and the audience are really hungry. We know it. Are really hungry for games or for more things and everything. We know it. We're Latin too, so we know it's like that, and we want to start giving them things as fast and as big and as better as we can. So it might take some time and some things, but great things are to come, you know. Great things for Latin America.
So, this project, turning back to the Project Collective, do you have any platform in mind, or you're just approaching to every one of them and seeing what the games will turn like? What do you expect of them?
Approach. Okay, so that's a good question. You see, at the moment we're not taking pitches for games, because what we want is to develop new IPs. That's the way the greater IPs for us worked, and worldwide that's how they have been made. You know, it started as new IPs and working from the start with the developers. You know, with some ideas and right from the start. So what we need is teams that have great ideas and that can make them happen. You know, it doesn't matter if it's a great studio with hundreds of people or you know, a smaller studio, but that they can deliver and that they have great ideas. And I mean, passion, it's almost granted, you know, but it's also important to have passion for this and to love games and the hunger to make great games with a transnational and everything that we can support. And so we actually just want to have all their information possible. We've been looking for them for a long while, actually, making studio profiles and everything, and trying to get them to approach to us. We have gone to them as well, or tried to. That's why we're here. Well, that's the main reason we're here. Because we really want to get to know their talents for each country, and Brazil is a huge country with huge talent as well. So there are a lot of interesting ideas and a lot of interesting developers, and we want to meet them. We want to meet you guys. So please approach to us. Send us an email. You can send your studio profile. That's information from your studio and points of contact to info. That is info @latam. LATAM .square SQUARE it's different SQUARE /Enix ENIX.com info @latam.square-enix.com. Okay, and you can find us on Facebook as well, facebook.com/Square Enix Latam. Twitter is the same, twitter.com/Square Enix Latam. We have contacts there. We have the emails where you can send us your information, everything, and be up to date with what's happening with us here in Latin America and how we're pushing it, this and that so far, you know, and the latest information on our games, you can find it there. So please contact us, you know, contact us if you're development studio, contact us if you have something to say to us. We'd love to hear it, you know. And we're always open, and we really want to be a part of the whole gaming community as a publisher, and not just as fans that we are, you know. That's our main goal.
So sadly, we're coming to an end. So can you give a little message for the Brazilian developers so they can expect more from Square Enix?
A gente quer que você trabalhe conosco, né? Estamos muito empolgados de estar na América Latina. A gente precisa de os desenvolvedores de jogos do Brasil, de vocês. Então você, por favor, envie suas informações, forneça essas informações para a gente no e-mail info@latam.square-enix.com. Muito obrigado a você, muito obrigado a todos os gamers. Obrigado.
Thank you, it was a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Então, pessoal do Blast, esse foi o Manuel Camilli. A gente fica por aí.